Right, from the inside out with Ronnie on the spot, Chris Curtis and the Sandman. So I promised you Snake would come back in a better atmosphere, better get down so we can hear and understand everything he's saying, because that little connection, my equipment was bad, his phone wasn't good, and it all added up to we're just going to do a do-over, man. We're going to redo it. So anyways, I'm going to throw this over to Snake. I'm going to let him talk about some things, or Nazi Mike, which is actually his real handle. And no,
Snake's my real
Snake's the real handle. Then I got that backwards. I've always known a Snake. I never even knew the Nazi Mike for a while, but it was a small segment of life. Yeah,
temporary.
Yeah, temporary get down. So I'm gonna throw it back over to Snake, and he's gonna tell you a few things, and then we're just gonna chop it up. You know what I mean? Like just cut it up about some things. So you want to go ahead and talk a little bit, brother?
Yeah. Well, we just discussed so many different things earlier. Was there any one certain subject you want me to start with?
Okay, so you know what? Like we were saying earlier, so if you talk to one person from one area, they have a story about how the ride got started. Okay, yeah, you talk to somebody else on another, so we're going to find out from him what his
Let me clarify that. So the ride has probably got several different founders, because I'm pretty sure you guys know by the same time the ride was coming into I guess, itself recognition, it was all over the YA system. So like, in Nellis, it could be a group of founders that started to do a click right there. And, and then there's Paso where I was at. We started on one right there. And, I still remember the original crew right there, Little Nazi, Katie, Tripper, Hoppa, if you're listening, Hoppa. And so, where he was at, be something different. So really, it's just like the name eventually is going to come to be solidified as Nazi Lowriders. And in the beginning, it was different things. And for us, we used to call ourselves the Brotherhood at first, because of our brother. Our unity.
Your family.
Our family. So we realized that we couldn't keep that name, because eventually we're going to end up in the state prison, I'm sure. And so that was bumping heads with the Aryan Brotherhood, even though our bylaws and our rules and everything was formed after their own. But it did become Nazi Lowrider before I left the YA system and before I left TS. It was NLR.
Well, you were telling me about when there was only 2 white dudes in the unit, and they were the sergeant or some of the cop or the lieutenant was going to put you in there or put out a memo to have everybody. Tell us that story about it.
Because the unit over there, all the white dudes ran off?
Yes. Okay,
so in Paso Robles, that's Gladiator School. It's just like Nellis. You guys have heard Nellis, Paso, just same way, man. It's Gladiator School. And Preston. Well, apparently, the whites got ran out of Shalom Cottage, right? So that's one of the cottages in there, and only 2 whites that stayed over there, a little Nazi and caveman. And so, they put out a memo all to all the units, and there's like 8 blocks, right? 8 units, basically asking for volunteers to go over to the Shalom, man. The hold up, represent, whatever, and hold it down, right? And so nobody was signing up, I guess, because it's been up for a minute, I guess, but don't sign up. But I went and signed myself up, and my dog, Rebel, right? He didn't know at the very moment that he was going to pack up and go over there with me. So I told him later on, we're moving. He said, where are we going? I said, we're going to Shalom. He says, what? He says, man, dude. He says, man. I said, bro, we got to go over there. We can't leave caveman and Nazi standing over by themselves. So we did go over there, me and him, and supporting them 2 dudes, and with us came a fresh load of white boys off the bus that did not know what unit they were going to, but we got every white boy off that bus.
And the lieutenant told you he was going to do this, huh?
Yeah. The superintendent of the unit, the supervisor of the unit told us, listen, now, you guys got a green light to do whatever it takes to hold that down over there in that unit for white boys. And he says, just don't pick up the weapons. So, that was a broad. That's a lot. It's a lot right there. So we went over there with that mentality that we're going to do just that. We're going to make a space for the white boys in that unit and hold it down. And so the white boys came in from I think the reception unit, and they didn't know what they was walking into. So I had to tell them, they sit them down. Somebody, it's the middle of the war. We're at war right now, and so you guys, fresh recruits and stuff. But let me tell you something. That crew, man. I mean, for what it's worth, man, they stood strong, man. They stood strong, and they stayed down and stood tall, because for first few weeks, man, it was a torpedo game back and forth. You know what? They fired off one of ours, we fired back one of theirs. You know what I mean? Until they made their move, right, as a unit, as a whole mass of them, and they caught us kind of by surprise with some trickery, but the damage wasn't really severe, except they took us all to the hole, the white boys, but they came in they interviewed all of us, and they interviewed me last. And they said, well, and the supervisor come in there and said, listen, I saved you for last because I already know what you want to do. He said, but all these dudes said they're going to do what you're going to do. I said, well, then let us out. He goes, I already cut the paperwork. You're getting out right now. So we all got out, and we went back to Shalem. And man, as soon as we walked in that door, man, the blacks in there, they knew, what, we're somebody to reckon with, you know what I mean? And it's on. They seem to look in our eyes. Even the weakest link, the guy you probably think would crash out the quickest and not want to go back, he came back. So they see all 18, 19, 20 of us walking that door. They knew, man. They knew something was going down. It was going to go down. We definitely going to respond. So we went out to the rec yard, and me and little Nazi, caveman, we're all sitting around planning our next move, right? And the shot callers for the blacks, they called us over. They said, hey, come over here, man. We can talk to you for a minute, please. And we were very respectful. I said, yeah, sure, come over. They said, well, we know you guys you want to do something back, and we respect that, but you don't have to. I said, well, why'd you say that? He said, ain't it about respect? I said, well, that's exactly what it's about, is respect. You know what I mean? And little Nazi chimed in and said, yeah, it's about respect. We're going to get our respect. So he said, well, you got it. You got respect. We respect you guys. We saw you guys stay down and having your shit, come back. We respect you. We can get along in peace and harmony if that's what you want, right? Well, of course, that's what we want. At the end of the day, we know one wants war because everybody loses in war. You use your commissary, your visits, your good time, all that stuff. You lose, man. You know what I mean? Slam down. So yeah, we wanted respect, and we got it. And so it was a good little war we fought right there, and we won it. You know what I mean? And just as a side note, right? Well, after we finished ours, we brought bloods in, right, to try to hold it down, because there was no blood in the unit either. So they had to come in there and hold it down themselves to go through the same thing we went through. Right. I mean, same thing.
So, and then this is kind of a back and forth on the thing. So meanwhile, this is in LR taking shape, and that's one place where things started to take shape. Now they're giving these guys a label. The rider Nazis, right? They're giving them this label when you're going to chow.
Right, yeah. So that just started taking shape there. That was the first, like I said, we all had our different beginnings and stuff, and that was beginning to the ride as I know it.
Now you go to my neighborhood, go to my neighborhood where I'm from, I hit Nellis, and when I hit there, I'm a little older, I believe, and I hit there, and I hit Nellis back in 78, and they're just saying these 3 letters as a fad. They come up and they tell me, hey, are you a biker, a surfer, a stoner, or a Nazi lowrider? And then you're going to pick one. They present it to you. Well, you know what? I crease my shit. Nazi lowrider sounds like what I am. So I tell them, well, I'm a lowrider. Okay, bam, that's who you hang with right there. There are a couple other dudes. So that's what's going on in Nellis. So when people ask who started the ride was taking shape in different YAs in different times with different groups that was eventually going to all formulate into this one group that were Nazi lowriders in the prison system. And Snakehair knows a lot about this because I'm going to tell you right now, he was part of the forefront. When it came time to designate us as a prison tip and all of that, ain't no man can tell you more about what happened right then and there than this man. Why? Because he was doing the fucking negotiating. Why don't you run some stuff down to us on that? Tell us about Buzz and all that stuff, how that all came into shape.
So, like, for a long time, right, I was very political, involved with the ride. I mean, I saw something that could be great, and I saw an opportunity for us to stand tall and be recognized and make a difference. And that was all because of opening up a void the brand left for the white race when they got slammed down. See, they got slammed down in mid '80s and something like that, right there about mid '80s, right? Yeah. So and I come in the system in '88. So I mean, I didn't just jump right out there in '88. I mean, I laid back in the cut. I mean, and made friends with some brothers too, right? Butch Papan, instrumental in quite a bit in negotiations and all that. In '99 in Corcoran. Anyways, yeah, it was basically a void left open. And I thought, well, this is the perfect opportunity for the ride right now to get pushed forward to the next level. Otherwise, we're going to sit stagnant, you know what I mean, on that yard, on them yards for a long time, and we're not going to have a chance because the brand ain't going to let no other chip form up on a yard. They're not. It's just going to, he could tell you the history of that. I mean, where there's been whole startups wiped out, meaning killed, murdered. So I'm saying, this is opportunity now presented the right way. This is our shot, right? Like the Eminem song, we got one shot. So they agreed. I mean, look, it was presented to them like this. I said, listen, you guys left a void out here, no representation. I said, you guys are sitting in a shoe, you're strong in it, but you're not out here. And so, there's a void. We need somebody out here on the main line that people can see. So it's changeable, you know what I mean? Like if you're there. I said, we're out here. We're representing the same thing that you all, represent. We got the same bylaws, same rules. I mean, formed after what you believe in, we're same thing. Give us a shot. Let us hold these, give us your blessings. It's better than to go in there and ask them for their blessings and try to take something from them. I'll tell you that right there, because that wasn't going to go down. And at first, the ride was kicking up some major dust, and they were noticing us. Believe that. It was this close, that close from getting the axe dropped on our heads, right? And we didn't back up.
You know what? Tell them about how close it got. When they come down, when the commission decided that, it was going to go with the ride, and they sent dudes down to make the presentation, how'd that go down?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, see, people don't understand how diabolical shit is on certain levels. I mean, it's so, it's like this, man. I mean, I wasn't, my heart was in the right place to begin with. So I wasn't really looking for the shady shit, right? But it was there, right? And I realize now how clever it was all set up. And when I'm sitting back now after it's all said and done, you know what I mean? But luckily, I was my heart was in the right place, right? Like I like people talk about FTCB, shit. Like, what would you done if you was there? Well, I'm gonna tell you what, man. If you would have done the opposite of what I did, you wouldn't be still standing here no more. I said, I'm gonna tell you that, but that's a fact.
Yeah. No, right? Because when the fellows make a choice to wipe a tip out, they're gonna wipe them
that's
out.
What I'm saying.
When they make a choice for you to become part of them, it's not an offer that you got a choice on.
Right. So when the options, so when we're presented with the options, right? I'll just fast forward to that point in time. It was by design that it went down to corporate. They did not want negotiations or their proposal to be delivered through a door, on a kite, over a phone, nothing like that. It was to be face to face. The reason being is because if the person they delivered the proposal to decided to disregard the proposal or not accept it, well, that man is going to be an example right then and there. And Buzz would have took flight, or all the MAs out there were backing him up. So just because there was only one ABs and 4B for left, and there was one AB and 4B for right, that didn't mean shit. There was like 30 some odd Mexican mafia soldiers out there backing these two ABs up, man. And they was all on point, ready to go. But that's not how it was presented to me when I first got there. That's where the slickery comes in. So I was told I ain't gonna name the name. I'm sure you appreciate that. But listen, one of the MA dudes, he tells me, hey, listen, Snake, I'm so-and-so, mucho gusto. I say, I know who you are, mucho gusto back to you. And he said, listen, I'm saying, whatever you guys got going on the ABs between y'all, we're staying out of it. Bull fucking shit. But see, listen, at the time, like I said, my heart was in the right place. I wasn't thinking about no underhanded shit. He said, he made a comment. I told him, no, it's not how it is. Me, homeboy, I got him respect for the big homies. I said, it's their yards. Homeboy, they gave us the blessings. Let's run these yards. I said, you know what, man? It's all about respect, bro. right? So, I mean, I was sincere. So he would have got back at Buzz and said, hey, you know what? This dude's heart in the right place. So you ain't got to worry about this one. So when I did come out to the rec yard with Buzz, we embraced and it was all good. But had that not been that way, and I said something to Daryl and Buzz, they're like brothers. They are brothers. I mean, look at different races. It don't matter. There's nothing going to drive the MA and AB apart. I don't give a fuck what happens down below in rank and file. It ain't going to happen. These two guys and these two brothers will kill for each other, and they'll do whatever it takes. That's their alliance. You cannot flip them apart. You know, more then you have to give the NF and the BGF more power, and then just so you don't split them up anyway. But anyways, that's how close they are. So it was very touch and go. But had I went out to the yard and told FTB wanted me, oh yeah, hey man, no, check it out. Thanks for letting us have the keys. Probably a month of letting us slide and build our numbers up, man. But now we got them up there 2,000, so we're just take this fucking shit. I'm gonna tell you, that would have been butchered. I know it for a fact. The proposal would have been like, hey, disregarded. He would have orders to take out whoever sent a message to us to NLR. And this is what's up, man.
So that the next guy they laid it out in front of knew what the deal was.
Right.
It's not a question. Do you want this? It's here. This is what we've decided for you. And your life depends on you picking it up and run with it.
Yeah. And it really wasn't, listen, man, they didn't come at me with no disrespect. They didn't come at me with no, they didn't take it, make us feel like a little small, anything like that. They didn't make us feel like we're going to be underlings, like you guys think, like when we say, you know what, you walking, no. It wasn't like that at all. They came at us with respect. They said, listen, the proposal is this. Right? They want you to recognize, this is from Buzz, the commission said, recognize us as the tip, right? So I said, well, ain't that something? I said, because I come all this way to be recognized by you, and now you're telling me you want me to recognize you. He said, yeah, and you know why that is? And I said, why? He said, well, because you're a tip now. I go, well, that we are. So, I mean, they recognized us as a tip. They just wanted to be the tip now. I want that to be clear. They weren't taking nothing from us. They weren't saying, no. They let us come up to become a tip next to them. Because why? Well, we said we're going to bring them yards, hold them yards, and give us their blessings.
And that's money.
Yeah, that's right. They made money off us too. And we took care of a lot of business for them. A lot of business owners, a lot of dudes got whacked by us. For them, money was sent to them. They came up.
And let me tell some of the audience here that doesn't know a lot of things about the politics, all right? Yeah. Why is this tip so few in numbers and so powerful? Well, first of all, they got their unities and they got their alliances and stuff. But this is how serious it is with them. Never have they let another tip come up under them and have the lines. It never happened. Never even let them. So Dennis Howie from Orange County started a tip called the Host. Dennis is a lowrider. You would have thought, you know what, Dennis is a Nazi lowrider and the whole thing. But he started the Host. And he's the only host alive today. They respect him because he did a tip for cat stabbing and he's a beast. But they killed everybody that was part of the Host back then. They would literally murder every tip that came into. And here was the difference. Are you a street gang who's recruiting on the streets? Or are you a prison tip who's recruiting in prison? You start recruiting in prison, now you're trying to pull from their numbers and take their control. That's not going to happen with them. And they have the power to shut you down. So NLR was the first and only tip. Well, now, no, they did it with another tip now too. But it was the first to pave the way for doing that.
Yeah, we were second tip to be made. Assembly White clicked and made a tip in California prison history. And so, I mean, all throughout the entire history, there's only been one tip, and that was formed by the Aryan Brotherhood. It originally started out as the Bluebirds, and that was to go up against the BGF and NF and stuff, other tips that were basically forming up.
So you were telling me about Homeboy rocking dude to sleep that you would have really thought that they were brothers.
Oh yeah, this is almost. You ever see? You'll never believe it. For months, right? I was in between two brothers, right? We won't say who they were, just say the Cardinals, right? And so I would be like, man, these dudes, they love each other, man. They're like brothers. They're like real brothers, you know what I mean? Because that's how I'm perceiving it. And that's exactly what one of them wants the other one to see too. But for months, you know what I mean? But then, I got put in the know on something that was shocked the fuck out of me, man. It's real. I mean, because this guy was overbearing. He's a colonel. He was overbearing. He was a very aggressive. He was very cocky, and so he would say things that made you pissed off. So I was getting ready to say something to him on another occasion. I already had bumped heads with him once, but man, I mean, I got the keys for the ride, so I'm not gonna let this dude talk any kind of shit to me on the chair, especially when my dudes are on the chair. They're listening like, well, that can't fly. But the first time we bumped heads, Buzz, he made me apologize to him. Now I wasn't agreeing with that, but you know what? The way he said it, I knew there was something else and mix. I didn't know it then. But then the second time the dude got slick with me on the chair, you know, my neighbor knew I was going to jump out there before I could. He said, "Hey, monitorinha." Now you know when a colonel tells you that at that type of situation right then and there, it's important. So I stopped what I was doing, stopped being mad, I shot my line. And when I read, man, it shocked the shit out of me, man. He said, look, I wasn't going to say nothing to you, man, but I see that, you know what, you're going to say something else to him, but listen, just chill out, dude. He goes, I'm going to kill this motherfucker, right, when I come off a lockdown. And I said, fuck, man, shit, dude, these guys are brothers. I couldn't believe it. And the way he carried that dude for 6 months, stoked the shit out of this motherfucker, man. I mean, this guy, I mean, swear that they were the same family. I mean, the same family, I mean, cut off. But that's how you wouldn't believe it. And then even after he told me, right? And I listened to him, I said, nah, you know what I mean? Shit, man. So you know what, when he come off of his little lockdown he was on, he got his wreck back. He went out there, man, and he tried to give his best shot. You know what I mean? You know, I would say that, man, you know what, one guy just got extremely lucky, is all. It's extremely lucky. But yeah, it was a surprise. And
so, you know, when they're getting ready to make a hit, they may spend months and months, years getting a motherfucker comfortable. And then on the day that it's supposed to go down, they may do an extra heavy routine and the shooters are just going to go light. And they're going to wear this dude's muscles and everything out. And so when he stands up, he's light-footed, and these shooters have been faking the workout the whole time. They're going to get on him fresh.
Well, you know,
all kinds of shit.
Yeah, you talk about some cold movidas, man. One particular one was well, I'm gonna put back your MA story. When one of their dudes, man, went put some work in on the streets, right? And he did, but he killed some kids, man. Right? They stroked this dude all the way through his sentencing, all the way up until he hit death row. Then they got his ass out there on the basketball court, but they waited until that game was over. His heart was beating real fast and playing that game. So when they hit his ass, he bled out twice as quick. They butchered him, but they stroked him for months or years. I was fighting a death penalty case because he stepped over the line, man. He killed kids, and they didn't fly. They were going to kill that dude from day one when he did that. They stroked him for years until that day on the basketball court in San Quentin death row. Hit him one time, dude. One time that dude blood just pumped out all over the place, right, real fast. I mean, so after a basketball game, they doesn't get, you know.
That goes into it, man. When it comes time, to take somebody's life, they're using every angle. They're going to make him bleed more. They're going to make him bleed faster. They're going to hit him one time. They're going to stop you. They got to put them guns on you. That'll stop you. That Mini 14, it's made by AT&T. It'll reach out and touch you.
Yeah. It's a real, and you know, the thing about them hits and shit. Like one of the most vicious hits I've ever seen was done by a writer, and it was in Palm Hall. And a lot of people, they don't know, man, unless you see it for yourself up close and personal, how quick and how bloody a jugular hit is. Your jugular vein, right? But there's blood every fucking where, everywhere. I mean, shit, dude. It's flying across the you know what I mean, the yard. I mean, and it's coming out like a fountain is turned on at high, because you know the pressure's in there. I remember when Smurf ended up hitting another dude in Palm in Danny or something like that. I remember hearing the MA dude, not nobody, so an MA. I heard in the next case say female movida. I mean, that's straight out his mouth, because that's how vicious this hit went down. See, Smurf, man, you guys probably know who Smurf is, man. I mean, Smurf made a lot of noise over the years, man, and a lot of people don't know his story. You know what I mean? I don't think he'd mind if I said something about it, because he shared it with me. So Smurf, he came in the system at Orange County. He had I don't know what kind of case it was, but it was a weak case, right? But he told me he ended up taking the case off his homeboys too, right? But while he was in custody on that case, it was only 6 years, little bit, right? I guess his son and his wife or his girlfriend was coming to visit him. Man, they were killed coming up to visit him, right? And I mean, fucked man's head up right there. So I mean, and if that wasn't enough to get him into a stab and fool mentality, when he found out that his only remaining child, his daughter, was diagnosed with terminal cancer, man, he was like, I don't care anymore, Snake. I don't care anymore. He said, I'm going to make a lot of noise for NLR. And he did. He made a lot of noise for NLR. In fact, he's about the only comrade I've ever put in a ride with some rank. And no one argued with me about that. They said that dude's put in a lot of work. He deserves some rank. So he made a lot of noise. He did. But, he's up on that, bro. I'm pretty sure, man, he ain't gonna execute him again.
Well, they opened the row up. All them dudes. I remember I got calls from a couple of them.
But they're not gonna start executing nobody, no way.
It depends on if that governor wins. This staunch conservative governor wins, and he wants to wants to fire things. You never know. It changes with the weather. You know what I mean? But that's some history about the riot. I want to keep these things down to a certain level. But before I do anything here, I want to first, we got a couple of things we want to address and touch base on. And one is these lady writers. And I'll tell you a story. I'm going to throw it over here and he's going to tell you one. Okay, so Little Bit and Brat, they're sitting there. And they claim to be lady writers, right? And I'm like, okay, so I'm just sitting there. There's a couple new dudes that were just made, like might have been level 2 yards or whatever. I kind of just got a vibe that they weren't really with the thing. And I'm just sitting there watching and checking these dudes out. We're in Long Beach, and he goes, you guys ain't writers. There's no such thing as lady writers, right? And all of that. Well, they put hands and athlete's feet all over that dude. Told him, punk, we're writers. You ain't a fucking writer. And he lost the fight, and he lost his letters. He lost everything that day. I never said anything because I thought, you know what? The women might put something together. We'll give them a new title. They couldn't be writers. We'll give them a new title and set them in motion as affiliates and associates to the ride. And that's a benefit to everybody because, I'm going to tell you right now, I've met some women that take your fucking breath. Matter of fact, they just found Joey Govey chopped up in a golf course fucking pond, chopped up by a woman. So, they'll go to sleep at the watch. But anyway, so that brings me to this. I got a lot of respect for women and the fact I don't never judge one as being weak or a flower or any of that because you never know. You know what I mean? So, we're going to talk about it. I'm going to throw it to you because we had talked about it. I said, I want to bring that up, man. And she did some pretty amazing stuff and built a little crew and everything. And her brother, and this is Jax. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Jax, I like to call Jax the queen of NLR, because she was my queen, right? But she's, she's been involved with the ride for several years, going back maybe a couple of decades for real. So her brother, Johnny, rest in peace, Johnny Price, little Johnny Good boy. Dude. Yeah, he was my partner, man, over there. And when I first met him over there in Lancaster, and we were dogs, man. We were so much alike. It was crazy. I called him James Dean, man. He called me Elvis. We hit it off, man, real good, man. And so that's his sister, Jackie. And so we lost Johnny, but Jackie, over the years, she's been very tightly associated with the NLR, and said she's gotten validated. And she also she got labeled like all of us, you know what I mean, it's affiliated and with some kind of domestic gang or domestic terrorist. So I'm trying to get that off right now, I guess, but I don't think it'll work because, I mean, it's kind of hard to get off. It takes act of Congress, right? But anyways, no, Jax, she stood strong with a lot of riders coming out of prison, helped them out, coming out, joint, you know what I mean? Some of them came out, man, the fall from grace, you know what I mean? And look, man, you know what? That's a hard hit for somebody that doesn't want to hang up the guns, man. And some of these guys didn't deserve to get what they got. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like politicked out and shit. But she stood strong with them, you know what I mean? Even though when it was against popular opinion to do so. So I want to give a shout out to Jax and tell we thank you for that and we recognize you. And you know, if you know there is a queen as in-law, it's going to be you. So.
Yeah, maybe on down the line we can get an interview going with Jackson. There's other amazing things to talk about, but you know what? That's up to her to talk about what parts of anything that she would like to discuss.
Right, yeah.
To her to bring things to the forefront.
Yeah, I don't know what she wants to discuss, but she definitely want to talk about some of the comments that passed away. You know, there's Mike, I think. You know what I mean? Little bro, right? You know what I mean? So she got to know these people. You know, better than I did, but she'll probably also tell you how she first got involved, besides the association through her brother, but how she got you know, made her own little crew, which is pretty clever. I leave that story to her because she did it at a very opportune time when things was right to do something like that, and it would have worked. It definitely would work. The riders are loyal. And comrades would have definitely stepped up. So she'll let her tell that story.
Okay, so before we wind this down, I'm going to let you have it. Anything you want to talk about or say to anybody or address anything?
Well, yeah, there are some things, or like, you know what, I wanted to comrades out there that also was instrumental in seeing, you know, let's get you where we got you as a tip. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not forgetting you guys. You know what? Like Milo, Ty Fowles, Milo. I don't know where you guys were at, but I ain't forgot Milo when you left the keys to me and Ty and shit. And that was the first time I got to hold the keys in Palm Hall and represent or hold down the Brand's house. And that's the Brand's house. So that's a big significant thing right there. People don't realize that, but I mean, you know, Palm Hall is a legendary hole, and so is the yard out there, the rec yard. It's a legendary, a lot of blood still on the yard. But you know, other people along the way that's you know, help that effort. And so you know, man, shout out to them guys, you know. And you know what, if you guys was with me in YA and you remember Pastor Robles, I'm looking for little Nazi, White Shower, and I know Hopper, you're around here somewhere, Tripper, man, write into the show and let us know where you're at, man. And so we can hear from you too, you know what I mean? So you can talk about your memories about how we started that little crew back then and that little Shalom incident, you know what I mean? That's history now, but you know, I think I was going to say one thing about, like, people don't realize exactly what was mandated when I got out. See, so I want to say one quick little thing is, like, after this alliance got made and we recognized each other, you know, we were going to be recognized as a part of the family, you know what I mean? And not really, not saying that we're going to be recognized as underlings in any kind of way. But really, because they weren't treating us that way at all. In fact, they were already talking about stepping some up, and, you know, the 5 got put in and stuff like that. And personally, I just stayed at the helm. I said I got recognized as a voice, you know what I mean, which is an honor. Dude, listen, it's on bullshit. I'll probably never get outside of San Bernardino County. Let's keep it real. But Buzz approached me and said, Snake, because the alliance is made, and so you're with us. They said, you're going to get out there right now, and you're going to have everything from Bakersfield down to fucking San Diego for us and ride. I said, really? He said, yeah, because Butch is locked up. He's got LA, right? It says Toto's locked up. He's got Ventura. Bobby Ray's locked up. He's got Bakersfield. So I mean, shit, I'm saying, fucking what the hell, you know what I mean? So that's a lot of area and a lot of juice, man. And so, I mean, it wasn't like they were taking anything from us. They were bringing us in with them. You know what I mean? Whatever happened after I left, it's still somewhere a mystery to me. I don't know how. it all ended. Someone said it because the FTV thing said a sour note, which ended up crushing everything between us. That's a sad thing, man. But it is what it is, you know what I mean? But when I got out, though, it was high hopes, and still what they wanted us to do was to structure. They were really serious about it. And they're really, like the brand, they're smart dudes, man. That's why they're so few in number. They're very selective in who they pick. They want people that can lead, that can think on their feet, are crafty. I mean, all these different things. You know what I mean? They want all that, but they also want with us, right? Was not a big mess like it is out here on the streets when we get out, because every time we get out, we run off on some meth, I mean, and get sideways and forget about the comrades and all that stuff. They want it structured out here. They said, you get out there and structure the ride. Start structuring them from Crescent City to San Diego. We got to structure. You got to bring them into account. Who's what. You got to be signed, identification, numbers, letters. How are we going to do it? A bank account's got to be opened up for dues or whatever. Bring in, you know what I mean? Like, you're out there doing licks, you break off a cut to your family. That money in the bank right there gets dispersed amongst the comrades and the brand. I mean, listen, it's all about the money at the end of the day. The money makes the world go round. And it was the same with the brand. They needed us out here generating some funds too. You know what I mean? They're in there needing some money. So I understood that. But at the same time, you know what? A lot of comrades, we weren't doing so hot in there too. They needed some money, so we got to take care of them. And we weren't, a lot of guys weren't doing that. They get out of prison, they run them up until they get violated, they come back in, then they start structuring again because we have structure inside. So they want that structure to be taken outside, and so that's what I was in the process of doing. But the RICO investigation kicked off in June or July of that same year. I got out in October, right? August, excuse me. I got out in August. So Operation Woodbuster, that's the name of the operation, was already in full swing, right? Before I ever stepped out of the joint. Yeah, so I know for a fact now that they had a magic ear pointed at the fucking corner or wherever it is, you know what I mean? Or even having bugs over by the bathroom and shit. They knew we went out there every goddamn wreck and talk anyway. So they knew probably a lot about everything that was going to go down out there anyway. And then we agreed that what I would do was I got out, I go into rehab to get off parole. See, so I can't communicate with nobody if I'm not off parole. I mean, let's face it, they want me to structure a ride, but how am I going to do that if I'm on parole? Because man, I got seen talking to somebody else that's active. That's a year. Straight bullet back to the joint. You know how they weren't cutting us no breaks. So, it was that was the plan, you know what I mean? I would go out there, and I did go out there and carry out my part of it. I went to the drug rehab, I got accepted, right? And I was like, okay, well, because I was supposed to have somebody else step up who was going to be dealing with things while I was in the program. You know, any kind of serious decisions we made, I would get those via cell phone snuck in there or some shit. I mean, but a lot of these things started falling apart. So, yeah, because I was saying, probably Buzz, probably a little pissed off. I don't know if he still to this day doesn't actually know what happened. Maybe he does. Because in hindsight, I did the right thing. In hindsight. And that's just by intuition or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? It's by senses tingling. But at that time, you know, it was like what did I just talking about? I lost my train of thought real quick. I tried to say something.
You're in rehab.
Okay,
you're supposed to be putting it together.
All right, yeah, I'm in rehab. Okay, so anyways,
happens to all of us,
right? But okay, so if I wouldn't, like I said, if I didn't tingling, something was up, something was in the air, right? And so when he said I couldn't stay at the drug program. Right away, I was wondering why. So to say, because you're not listed as being from LA County, didn't strike me as very very honest. I mean, why not? I mean, I'm in an in-house rehab program. So right there, you know what? Sorry, getting me tripping a little bit on what's up. So he put me off, but that was because by design, the FBI is telling him, don't let him in that program. I mean, because if he's in a program, we can't tell him because this is a full-blown RICO investigation. They did have on-the-ground surveillance on me. They did have whatever, you know what I mean? Trying to put someone next to me. All that stuff was in the works. It's RICO, right? So I didn't know none of that shit, right? And so, so he said, "No, you can't go in over his program until LA accepts you." So now I'm stuck back over here in my area. So I'm still sober though, right? But for how long can I stay sober though? Because that program was essential to my sobriety to get in there right away, so I wouldn't relapse. But so for like 2-3 weeks, you know what I mean, I stayed strong, but I eventually slipped up a little bit, you know what I mean? And so what happened was I gave it dirty, right? And so I knew that dirty was on that gear back a joint. And in our ways, man, I failed in my mission because I didn't get a chance to complete stuff that Buzz wanted me to do. I'm probably gonna get dirty and go back. But the co-officer tells me, well, he says, we're gonna let you go ahead and do the program at the pro office. And so I said, what? I mean, it's on the phone, right? Now, to me, by the way, that sounded retarded as fuck because they never gave me a break for shit, ever. I've always been a year. A lot of you guys got the same program, so tolerant. You know what it was for us? We didn't get breaks, right, brother? You didn't get a break. You got a year, you're off the rip. No chance. Anything else. You spit on the sidewalk, it's 1 year, right? So I told him, nah. I said, nah, that's not gonna fly. I said, man, you know what? You know what time it is right now? I said, I'm gone, man. You don't run. I said, well, I'm running. I said, what the fuck are you talking about? I said, it doesn't make no fucking sense. You're gonna put me down to the parole office and take the drug program at the PO's office, make you look like a rat for one, when all the other times you took me in custody, right, for small as shit. Now, if I give you a dirty bottle, which is a free ticket to send me back to prison, and you say, no, we'll let you make it. It didn't make no sense. So I said, fuck it, I'm gone. Now, okay, in hindsight, the best thing I could have done for all of us, because by running on that, I didn't get a chance to lead them to any more people or because they were following me, or they couldn't indict me with more charges, right? You know what I mean? Like I said, at the time, the brothers might have been mad and pissed off, disappointed, but once they see how it unfolded, they can only just breathe easier and say, okay, well, some lives were probably saved because he ran, because you know what? There'll be more indictments. I mean, they were following me. They had my car bugged, wiper sound, all that shit. You know what I mean? I ran and picked up the strap, and that's really what did it. Grabbing the strap is what got him to come roll me up. They said, fuck it, we got to get him now. He's running around the strap. So that was what the mandate was, to come out and do for the ride. You know what I mean? My intentions were in the right place. I wanted to do it, try and stuff. But, you know, like I said, you know, a lot of things became unhinged right from the beginning, but it wasn't from the lack of trying. And I like to think that, you know what, unknowingly I did the right thing for all of us and stuff when I took off and shit, even though it brought the feds down on top of me quick in a hurry. And then they got me out of California too. See, that was a big thing with them. When they got me with a gun, they said, okay, now we got him with a gun. We're taking this gun and federally charging you. So before it had always been state 16203. But it was by design now because they wanted to get me out of California, to break me away from the rest of the ride. And so basically, you know what, cut me off cold, whatever momentum I had going. Because they knew everything was going on, I'm telling you, they knew since July. And it did work more or less. I mean, they sent me to Oklahoma, right?
So okay, so that leads to something too, because we just shifted gears to the feds.
Right.
And I just want you to touch down with the audience. So tell them about, okay, so the AB in the state is a vicious, treacherous, they own it in California.
Yeah, the example.
You get to the feds, it isn't that way.
No.
They don't own it.
I will tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why, because they water it down in the feds. California, you got California honkies in the brand. In the feds, you got people from fucking Arizona getting prospected. You got people from Texas or whatever. I mean, it's just all over the place. I mean, and we're all cut the same way. Cali, I mean, come on, man. We got our own. We can't nobody step into our shoes the way we ride, right? And you can tell Cali dudes and feds automatically. You can tell by their demeanor, their walk, their look, everything. We stand out, and much noise we make. But no, it's not the same thing. But I'll give you a perfect example of how the difference between brands are. I'm gonna tell you a quick little story if I may. So we got a California brand, dude, right? And how they're trained, and if they don't know, they get told. All right, they're trained how to set up murder scene. Most of us, and I've been one of them. I raised my hand to kill for the brand, but I told them I ain't gonna be a crash dummy out there in the yard. I will. Fucking if it's a sales situation, because I can set my own crime scene up, and that's the perfect way to go, right? And get away with shit. But just be out there in the yard doing a crash dummy shit, fuck all that shit. They got dudes doing life for those, but because when you're in a cell, it's like a dead man tells no tales. And a perfect example of this is this story I'm going to tell you right now. So there was a dude, right? He's AB, California AB, right? And him and Nazi Lowrider up there in Big Sandy, I think it was, they ended up stabbing the shit out of some Texas AB dude, right? They were drunk. So, I mean, was he supposed to do it? Should he do it? Should he do it? Who cares? He was drunk and he did it. And so he went to the hole, right? So now they're sobered up, right? And so he tells the shot caller for the Texas ABs, he says, hey, look, man, my dude's out the court right now. He says, man, what happened with me and homeboy here with your dude is isolated. It's got nothing to do with my comrade, my brother, whatever. You take it out on me or him, and because it's with us. Don't stab that dude when he comes back or hurt him and touch him in any kind of way. Well, so they agreed. They wouldn't do that. But they do. They stab Pinky as soon as he come back from out the court. They get him out rec yard and stab shit out of him, hurt him. So this is where AB comes in, and California is a different mentality. Instead of coming out there with an attitude, all pissed off, you motherfuckers, they come out there and he goes, okay.
We're even.
He goes, listen, so we're even. He says, you got that, so now we're even, right? So could we just now put this thing to sleep? We're even. There ain't nothing even going on, dude. He's rocking them to sleep, like only they know how. So they say, yeah, okay. And they sucked it up with a big fat straw. Not only they sucked it so good that they convinced, right, the administration that it was a dead issue, and they brought the dude back, and they got originally sent out of that prison when he was stabbed by the big homeboy and NLR. They brought him back to that prison, and he was already en route transit in Atlanta, right? They brought him back, and then word went out across ABT grapevine or TAB, how you want to call it. They
had that little work on.
Yeah, they had their acronyms on both sides. So word went out, man. Today it's squashed. Stand down. It's all good again, right? I mean, the word went out.
I think they're all ABT again, though.
Right.
Yeah.
So I grew up at Talladega, right? And Talladega was a satellite SMOO program. When school first opened up, they had have some satellite programs opened up too to take everybody in. They were locking down, right? They're locking us down all across the nation. You have to do nothing. You just got to go in your criminal history or your incident reports and see that you're an asshole or a troublemaker. You're getting slammed for a smooth term. So I went to Talladega, and that's where one of the big homies that AB, California AB, slammed down over there. And so he gets there actually. Him and the dude at Pinky, I tell you about, they got stabbed, his partner, and they already made a pact. Now, they said, listen, next place we go, we come across any one of these dudes, we're going to kill them. Make a sample. That's how, he's pissed. But he didn't, he's just a calm face to them. Oh, yeah, Steven, it's okay. He's pissed. Nah, we're making samples. So they get there to Talladega, right? And so there was a guy there, right? And you know what? Listen, no matter if I tell the story or not, there's no way they could charge this dude. There's none. The way he set it up was ingenious. right? There's no way, right? They found there was a dude there, but just left. I ain't gonna say who it was, but he just left. He's ATB. He told the guy he left behind, it's all good. Any of them do show up here, it's all good. So squash. They showed up. And so these dudes are saying, man, look, man, there's one here. And so they said, we should go get him. So they just decided to split up as cellies. So dude approaches them and says, hey, listen, my celly's going to split up and go over here with his homeboy. I don't want to see anybody in my cell. Why don't we show our families and shit how it's kumbaya with us, we're all good, you know what I mean? So we'll settle up, you know what I mean? The brothers, you know what I mean? ABs. So dudes, yeah, okay. Structured up, okay, yeah. But see, but that's not, at first, that's not, let me digress because I'm getting ahead of myself. So some of the other brothers, comrades on the tier, told the AB dude, they said, listen, that cell that dude's in right now, the ABT, they said, well, we was in that cell before him. And we cut us that bone crusher out about 10 inches long. The homeboy said, you got that knife? Yeah, we got it. Shoot, the plan was made. You see where it's going? So when he stroked the dude into being a celly, he became a celly. Right? The dude hadn't even unpacked his shit before you hear the thump, 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 the wet smacks, you know what I mean? And then the body dropped to the floor and then some more thwacks. I mean, he hit through 13 times. First one was simple, right? And as soon as he come in the cell, he hit him 13 times, put him down, and finished him off. Then, turned the knife on himself. Now, there ain't a jury in the country that's going to be 99.9% sure that that dude hit himself just to get. No, they can't say that. They can't. I mean, you're stabbing yourself pretty crazy. So, they're never going to get a conviction, right? And plus, when they went to find the knife, because he called out after he did this, he's like, hey, to certain people, man, hey, man, this dude tried to come up here and fucking stab me, dude. Hey, Lieutenant. He called Lieutenant. So the lieutenant come up there, and sure enough, man, they seen the dude down the floor. They see him leaking, the holes in him. So he told me, yeah, this dude tried to come up here and stab me and shit with this knife right here. They went to do cells, seen, sure enough, man, the knife cut out of the goddamn bunk you just left. Man, dude, it was so slick. No way. They couldn't even charge him for manslaughter, man. He was getting out in 2 years. See, I asked him, I said, why the fuck Pinky, you do that shit? Why would you let the homeboy who was getting out 2 years? Because I tried. He wouldn't let me. I mean, so listen, man, that's how slick these dudes operate, man. He's pretty smart. I mean, shit, they're not.
Yeah, well, the censure was that knife was cut out of.
That's right. That's when somebody see, but you can't beat it. But that's how they grasp that shit.
You know what? It wasn't just presented to them that way. You can believe that it went out through the grapevine to the ABT or TAB, whichever way you want it. It went out that way. That's how that went down.
Right.
And that's how they present that to them too. That's the same way. And look, they're looking at it like, well, the knife was cut out of that.
It has to be him.
Guess what? There's no war behind it.
No, there's no war behind it. But see, there's no match to California brand. And look, that's how I tell you two guys are way out of your depth, man. I said for real. I mean, and so it's California and I would say they're very smart dudes, and they definitely they say few, okay, because they're very particular who they pick. I mean, I've pretty much criticized them sometimes for not recruiting more, but when you look at it and shit, you know what I mean, and there's a reason for that. You know what I mean, and you see that. A few good men, right? Yeah, you see that, and some of these things they just don't go get away with. No, you know what I mean. Let's get away with it.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to keep. We may have to cut this into 2 segments already. It's ran a little long, but look, we're gonna do this was a part 2. We redid part 1. We're gonna do a part 3 too. I don't know when it'll come. Maybe when I come back through here, maybe on down the line. But we're gonna chop it up with Snake some more because it's interesting. I know you guys are gonna like it. It's the first content to hit in a while. Yeah. And I got to cut this off right now so I can get things put together and wrapped up. And I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, I've got some things I'm gonna give you so you can post them and stuff, and I'll
post some stuff up
online. There's been some questions and some curiosities about some things. I'm gonna we'll go ahead and satisfy all that for you guys for sure. You know what I mean? And but hey, you guys give me like the comments. If I was more articulate and more clear this time, please let me know. You know, I'm getting on an age, man. So I mean, it's a little harder to talk. Not like as good as I used to. So I'm sure you know what I'm saying. Embarrassingly, right?
It's all good though. I mean, this is a whole different atmosphere, different equipment. Part of that was last time. It was the equipment was fucked up on this end too. So when you got fucked up equipment on both ends, guess what?
Right,
you got fucked up equipment on both ends.
I'm doing a little phone interview thing, talking through the phone.
Exactly. And so this is a better get down right here. And I've bought new equipment, and we're on a new site, and that's how we go down. And homeboy's playing security in the get down, right? So and
keeps it all off my ass.
All you guys, I want to tell you, man, I appreciate your views. All my subscribers, I appreciate that too. Anybody else that needs a subscriber, if you're feeling you're on the fence about it, look, here's the thing. You can subscribe. You can hit like, hit subscribe, hype the video. You can always unsubscribe if you decide later on that, you know what, I didn't agree with my move to subscribe. So that's where we're at. Everybody who is subscribing and everybody's viewing right now, man, a shout out to all of you guys. Be safe. Keep your family safe. Keep your loved ones close. And we'll see you next time.
Keep it real.